This is a video of me going through workplace, hostile work environment, and it's all about the mercy of Father, right? The mercy. And I didn't want to report this because, like I said, no one never believes you. They would tell you, no one's gonna ever believe you. Ha 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 ha. But we're in groups, so we feel empowered to that. So they feel empowered to live a lie, and so it stops you from for reporting things, a lot of times, because that's what they're sent to do. These persecutors to break your spirit. And this time, the manager called me. Narcissist people that hate to be ignored. So he even mentioned that in the video. But the context of this video is me. This manager, he wanted to see why I ignored the group chat about an issue that we already adjusted right away. But he felt the need to call me specifically to because he felt ignored. That's a narcissist injury, And I mentioned the workplace. I felt the time I needed to address the workplace hostile work environment for one of the supervisors there and hold them accountable. They hate that, so they got to take one out on you. But the thing about it is, they know what they're doing. They know who I am. So this is me reporting. It's just I know every company has a code of conduct, to follow. Make sure supervisor. Yeah, every job has a code of conduct. Regardless, despite the spiritual aspect, if these people walking around with a spiritual rot, spiritual hatred of you, more likely, 100%, they're going to start targeting you. Imagine having a supervisor that track your every move. I express my faith freely. Freely. Supposedly, this is a Christ nation, right? This is what they broadcast on the news, right? So I do that freely, even without gospel music. That's just a spiritual weapon to get these people off my back and realize what you're doing is wrong. So keep listening to this, and let's imagine this. It's extra micromanaging. You say you go in there and you know what you're doing. You're an experienced cleaner. You're in the room vacuum cleaning, and she's in another bathroom in the hallway, and she goes marching agitated at you and tell you stop vacuuming the floor to go do something else. Okay, you go do something else. You go clean the tables. She goes by and hey, stop doing that. Go do something. Yeah, that's and unwanted touching. That's also illegal. See, like I said, it's the spirit of lawlessness. If they're not following the workplace rules, right? And they're not following Father God moral rules. What laws are they following? What laws are they following? Right? It's not rocket science. Let's treat whoever walks in the door in a respectful or, a fairly manner. You know, uh, no, don't create hostile work environments for others. Make people feel comfortable, not uncomfortable, while doing tasks. You know. And I was telling the manager, the guy owning the place, I was telling him that the fact that I had to tell him this, and he tried to question what is self control. He knows what self control is, keeping yourself together. But like I said, they're enslaved to their own sin. They're enslaved to their weakness. All right, they act on impulses. They can't stop it. They can't get sleep without it. All right. So I'm explaining that it is what I'm saying. It's factual. It's the truth. Employers must follow code of conduct. Make sure all employees are feeling safe, valued, and respected, and treated with fairness, regardless of what you believe in. But I know truth. The truth is Christ, the way, the truth, and the light. That's why these people are reacting, even without me playing gospel music. My presence alone is unbearable to the ones that will choose a lie over the truth every day, nonstop, 365. As long as they breathe, they will continue to live a lie. And the more agitated, the more they get anger, resentment of Father God. Yeah? Their resentment builds. But keep watching the video of me. I felt like that was violated. And I didn't want to bring that to the light. I didn't want to bring that, But since you got called about that, it's good now to put that on record. And another thing too, they like to play mind games when you report it. So how did what did she say? How did she touch you? Like try to find loopholes around it. But tell them you got to tell it how it is. You got to tell the truth. I didn't want to bring this to the light because it's mercy, man. It's empathy. I don't want this lady to lose her job. I didn't take it personal. But he felt ignored because I didn't want to respond to group chat over something that we already adjusted. So I made a case to put it on record, and then no one wants to. You don't want to be touched unwanted by a person constantly. Called baby boy when you're a grown man. That's dismissive and disrespectful. I let it slide till he called. I was about to let it slide. I go through way worse than what this lady has done to me. But at a workplace, it's different. But door to the end. I wanted to just keep this to myself, but you call it. But so, Gloria, the unwanted touching, the hunt me down, making the workplace hostile while there's the new guy was coming. I'm gonna show you where I spoke boldly and what they're doing. Their control. Comes down to she can step out. She can step outside. Here we go. This alone is unbearable, and I'm sorry. Here we go. It just me alone. I don't have to play music. It's my presence alone that bothers her, and she goes around. Yes, my presence alone is unbearable, and I'm speaking my truth. I'm speaking my honestly truth. My presence alone is unbothersable, and she have no self-control how to control her actions. That's what it really comes down to. She can step out. She can step outside, take a breather. Yeah, it was coming. People have no empathy, lack of remorse, so they feel the need to attack the light. And I spoke freely about what they're doing to me. They're trying to exert unbearable control because they're facing unbearable heat, friction from the presence of Father God, the living God. So, like I said, my presence is unbearable, and I got to live with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with everyone hating me. I'm okay with that. I felt the need. I'm okay. I'm finally okay with that. It doesn't bother me like it used to bother me anymore. Or go to another room. But the thing about it, you can see if the camera was on in the dealership, I can't record everything because I'm working constantly. So she stops what she's doing. This happens all the time. This is why I work alone. This happens a lot. This is why you have to work. This is why I work alone, so I have to deal with these people's dysfunctional behaviors at work, trying to break my focus while I'm working. It's all about breaking your focus, breaking your task. It's what it really comes down to. You want to break your focus. They want to break your focus. They want to break your focus. And I told him exactly, it's all about control. And his voice started trembling. And they put up a good act, man. These people are good actors. They're good at performing arts. They're good at putting on the mask and pretending that everything's fine, but really, truly, everything's not fine. These people are really you gotta clap for this stuff. They're great actors. Why these people are not in a movie? She stopped what she's doing and tried to exert unbearable control. And it breaks my focus. Yep. It's how it is. It's exerting dominance, power playing you, and for control. And I'm not afraid to speak this. These are the same people that got me in 100% isolation. I'm not too nice. I'm nice and polite, but I don't kick it with these people. There's no fellowship with darkness. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. But that's how they run you off from job to job. They run you off with their dysfunctional behavior. They always do this. They always create a problem. They always create the problem. They always create the cause and the effect. They always try to get away with it. But anyways, endure to the end.